here. Another edition of the Lab Tech Show. We got a lot packed up for you today, so thank you for your patience. I do apologize for us not starting at 8 p.m., but we got a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. So let me tell you what we got on tap tonight. The U.S. turns to social media for news. AI musicians, music artists, AI in radio, AI in film, and Revis is gonna break down the word of the day. Are you ready for this? It's a jam-packed episode featuring some guests, talking AI, and we're gonna hang out with TBJ and Revis. Y'all ready? Let's go. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? It's another edition of the Lab Tech Show. We are here. It's another week. Thank you guys so much. Nikki Hammer's in the building. Mama D's here. Hit the Spot 1006 is here. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. Please share the show. I did not get a chance to do promo, so you guys know, the ones, the loyals, the day ones, you guys know that we do this every Wednesday. So if you're here, thank you so much. It really means a lot. We got a jam-packed show, so we're going to get right into it. We have a guest that we're waiting on, and he may have to close out his computer and reset his computer and come back in. So Jamal, if you could just I see you in the room, but you may have to close out the program and then come back in. I'm not sure what's going on with you, but my first guest that I have, he's a program director right here in the Atlanta market. He works for Streets 94.5, and I mean, we're always talking about social media. We're always talking about moving the needle when it comes to technology, and he's a good friend of mine. He was rocking with me over at CES this year, 2025, and he's really heavy into the tech space. So we're going to talk to him a little bit about AI and radio. Without further ado, Mr. Solo, how you doing, sir?
What's going on? What's going on, Cowboy and the Lab Tech Show? Appreciate you having me on here, man. Thank you.
Yeah. You doing all right today?
Man, I'm doing all right. Busy. Had to, rush to make sure I'm ready for this because it's a big ordeal. I'm always excited to, be a part of what you got building, what you're building over here.
Man, I appreciate that. Man, my next guest that I have, you guys should know the name because you definitely done. I don't have my cell phone screen. My next guest that I have, you know the name. You've done the dance many of times, and he and I have been talking offline for a minute, and I've been asking him about AI and musicians and AI and music, and what does he think about all of this? You know him from this song in the late 2000s. I don't remember what year the song came out, but if you ever did to the left, to the left, to the right, now kick. If you know that song, the Cupid Shuffle. Without further ado, I got my man, Mr. Cupid. How you doing, man? The official Cupid, the official new Cupid. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, man? I'm good. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I got Solo here, I got Cupid here, and we also got another gentleman that's here, but we're having some issues with him behind the scenes. So if he can hear me, if he can restart his computer, jump in as quickly as possible, I would definitely appreciate it. I tried to text you, but we got Revis here. Everybody know Revis. What's up, Revis? Uh-oh, Revis?
Take it off mute, Revis. The button in the middle.
Revis, where you at, Revis? We don't hear you, man. Revis, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, there he is. Yeah, they said take it off mute, Revis. There you go. Solo crazy. We also got another gentleman. I'm waiting for him to properly get here so we can give him a formal introduction. Please let us know. We got a poll question going on currently on YouTube. Let us know. If you're watching on your phones, you can interact with us in real time. This is a live show. We definitely want you to be interactive with us, and we definitely want you to be a part of what we got going on. Okay, so please do that. The poll question that we do have for you, where did it go? Over here, and we'll tap into that. But while we do that, let us know in the city and the state where you are joining us from, and we'll go from there. How about that? We'll see. There we go. There's the questions that I got. The poll question that we have for you is, what AI platforms do you think will be used the most? What AI platforms do you think will be used the most? Um, One, ChatGPT. Two, Gemini. Perplexity, number three. Four, Copilot. Or five, one that has not been introduced yet. 1 through 5, let me know in the comments. What AI platform do you think will be used the most? Let me know what's going on. All right. Solo, Cupid, which one do you guys think will be used the most? Anybody gonna talk?
Oh, this solo. To be honest with that list, it all depends on what you're doing. Right now, I think ChatGPT and Google Gemini are kind of running in the front. But as you have been an advocate for Perplexity, and then Microsoft Copilot has been doing great marketing and integrations lately, but I think they're still behind on, you know, their marketing to the masses compared to ChatGPT and Google Gemini. But I think all of it's going to be used in some fashion or form. I think it's going to be based off your industry. I know a lot of students are using ChatGPT and Google Gemini currently, just as I discuss stuff with my interns.
Gotcha. Cupid, which one do you think will be used the most?
I feel like ChatGPT is like the Facebook of AI. It's the more popular one, and we're a very trendy culture. So I do think that ChatGPT gonna be the one.
Okay, Revis, your thoughts?
Well, of course, I have to say Gemini. And the reason why is because it's already in your assistant on my phone, unless you have iOS or Apple or something. Gemini is already on your phone when you use Android. So I believe Gemini is going to probably step up and be number one.
Gotcha. Okay, well that's what's up. I am a
I
fan
am a
of
fan
Perplexity.
Perplexity.
Can somebody mute that in the background? I am a fan of Perplexity, right? And a lot of people are sleeping on it, but they're trying to compete with Google. Now, Google is in your ecosystem. You use Google everywhere you go. But without further ado, that's my thoughts on it. It is what it is. We have another guest that's here. This brother is a Mr. Red Carpet. When I say he makes sure black excellence is represented, he fights for the influencer, he fights for the black creator, he fights for making sure representation is shown when it comes to Hollywood and it comes to TV. If you are familiar with Black Tree TV, this is the CEO, the founder of Black Tree TV, Mr. Jamal Finkley. How you doing, sir? You live, man. You there? You muted? Yeah, he's like, are you muted? We got clean audio on you? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me? I don't hear you. Hello, hello,
Yeah,
hello.
there you go. There you go. Welcome, Jamal. How you doing, man?
I think the microphone's on my phone. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Okay, that's what's up. Did you get a chance to see the poll? What AI platform do you think will be used the most? Will it be ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, or one that has not been introduced yet? Your thoughts?
Probably one that's not been introduced yet. For one, like we already see that DeepSeek is uh, able to use programs like with half the GPU space. So I think that we're still in for some innovation in that space, and while ChatGPT is like kind of like the name brand of everything that's going on right now. I mean, like you said, perplexity. I mean, I think Claude has a better adaptive system by Anthropic than ChatGPT. I still think the true winner hasn't uh, come out. I think we're in the MySpace era or the Black Planet era. We're gonna see like a whole bunch of levels of addition, coming soon.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we're going to go ahead and get into this show. This is designed to be a panel. So I have some articles for us to discuss, but it's not that we have to go down this road. I wanted to bring all of you guys in because Solo works in radio, Jamal works in TV and film, and then Cupid works in music. And we're seeing AI starting to take the threshold right now and saying, hey, AI is infiltrating everything, every job market. But then we are, as consumers, we consume media. So whether it's the news, whether it's listening to music, whether it's TV, film, radio, you name it, we needed to have that conversation. So it's not necessarily about articles today, but I'm gonna highlight some articles. We'll have that conversation. You guys in the comments, jump in, let us know what you think. And this is not gonna be necessarily the normal show. So I want their thoughts, and that's kind of how we're gonna run this show today. All right. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get my guy TBJ up in here so he can tell you the rules of the show. Here we go.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? TBJ in the building. Hey, if you watched last week's show, did you enjoy it? Well, look, we got the winners. Lisa Maria and Charlie Hunter. Make sure you reach out to us so we can get the prize out to you, okay? Look, this is how you can participate. You can watch on your phone, TV, or PC. We want you to rock with us, all right? So, look, we want you to comment, engage, and tell a few people what we're doing. Now, as always, we want you to keep this thing 100 because we're all about authenticity and transparency. You know how I roll. It's here. The technology is here. Tallboy gonna be talking about AI. He got his guests rolling with us tonight. And so just hang out with us. And like I said, what you gonna do about it? We just gonna have a talk about it today. So without further ado, Tallboy, let's get into the conversation. Let's go.
All right, guys. Americans are turning to social media and video for news more than ever, all right, than any other sources. And basically, the way this article that I found here is, even though this is not necessarily directed at AI, back in the day, we would wait for the morning news, the afternoon news, the 4 or 5 o'clock news, and the late night news at 11 o'clock. Well, right now, we're in a situation where, hey, you're getting all your content currently right there on TikTok. You're getting your news on Instagram. You're getting your news on whatever social platform that you feel that's where you need to get it at. And basically, more people are just saying, I'm relying on social media. But the way this article is saying that 7% of Americans are now using AI chatbots to access the news. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on using AI chatbots to give you summaries or to give you breaking news. I don't even think it's necessarily ready for that just yet. But what are your thoughts on this? And I'll start with Cupid at the bottom first.
Well, as far as like the current news, I know as a musician, man, being able to put out information about concerts, put out information about things that you have going on in real time is super big. To gather news, man, I just, as long as the news is credible. Of course, you know our typical media isn't as always credible as we want it to be, but I do feel like it's important to have that real time because I think a lot of true essence of the stories come out when it's like real time in your face, rather than kind of like getting, I used to work at a news station, so I know how a lot of these news articles come about and delivered to the media. So I'm all for it. I'm big. I'm with it. I love it.
Jamal, your thoughts?
Um, Well, I'm not a fan of it for a number of reasons. You mentioned um, FCC broadcast standards, which I guess none of Constitution, FCC, none of that really matters in this administration. If you think about it, just kind of make the rules as they go along. But I mean, it used to be something to having a credible news source and having somebody, having a newsroom that had to source and double check a source to make sure they're putting out a real story. And now you have more people just reporting on the press release and not getting their own stories, not doing their own research, and we're in a spot where between that and AI and deep fakes, you just don't know what's what. I mean, I think I seen it might have been DL Hughley or somebody sharing a Sora video the other day, and it's like at least Sora is putting like the little Sora label on their videos for the most part. But if you don't even know that, you're thinking that you're seeing something that's real, and it's like, come on, bro, that's an AI video. It's the fact that all this is going on. You have people that don't know what to believe, that will argue down anything, and think that they have evidence because they've seen something online that backs up their thought. And no matter what you think, I mean, if you think, black men grows tails, you can find something like that online right now to back up your argument, and then you could just be dead to wrong and loud yelling something just because there's no credible news source. So I don't like the space where we're just going where we just take news from everywhere. I do like that. People they don't have to go run out and get a newspaper, or they don't have to necessarily wait till 5 and 11 to watch the news to get stuff. But I still feel like we should have trusted news sources that we could trust.
Gotcha. Okay. Solo, your thoughts, man. Talk to me.
um, it's a gift and a curse. I think there still needs to be credibility in social media. So there are, I believe in still doing a 3-point check system, meaning that I don't run with the first thing I see. I normally need to have 3 verified sources before I run with it, unless it's coming from the source that the subject's about. Um, as I teach interns, as I teach my staff and have regular communication, it's good to drop the seed, but the seed needs to be watered, and watering the seed is making sure it's credible. So don't run and tell that until you officially know. I like the fact that in certain situations, let's say the George Floyd, if somebody hadn't have posted that, it might have not have been as big or gotten to the
Yeah,
point where it did, based off of the fact that somebody actually was recording that in real time and then posting that, so it couldn't be doctored up. But it took
right.
a lot of clips from different angles and things for that to be relevant. And I think a lot of in certain factors with social media, with the police brutality, the wrongdoings and things, but I don't make a I try my best not to make an opinion based off a snippet. I need to see the whole thing, and once I see the whole thing, then we make an adjustment. But for us, I'm still looking at, let's make sure we get 3 or 4 clips, and make sure we get the whole picture instead of just a snippet. Because a lot of things is people running off of a snippet, and then now you got to turn around and figure out, like the Kyron Lacey situation down at LSU. They're finding out different stories now because
Right. I live in
they're
Louisiana, so
finding.
that's why I felt the way I felt, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. And we just got to make sure that we're checking it, because I think it pulls the wound off, but you still need to have some conversation to make sure everything is valid, because people are editing things and people are putting AI things out here. So now, I hope people don't use it as a crutch just to make sure it's the Bible. I think you should use it as a tool, but still make sure you check your sources.
And I'm with you on that. Revis, we didn't tap in with you. What are your thoughts on Americans turning to social media and video for news as opposed to any other source? Your thoughts on that, Revis?
Well, my thoughts is it's got to be true, because that's exactly how I get my news now. I don't have time to watch the news. I'm always on the go. So when I'm on social media, I actually get snippets here and there of things that's going on. That's how I pretty much uh, keep up with what's going on. The thing is, AI has taken over. So you don't know what's true. You don't know what's not true. You have to do some kind of research. You got to get it from different sources. But pretty much that's the way it's going now. Yeah, I remember growing up and we used to watch the news at 6 o'clock and the news at 11 o'clock, and that's how we actually got it. Sometimes we watched it in the daytime, but now social media is pretty much the way it's going, but you don't know what's real and what's not real because AI is taking over.
Hmm. Hit the spot 1006 says it has to be fact checked. It's the new. It's too new, fresh. I don't know. That's what she said. It has to be able to be fact checked. Now the one thing about AI, it cannot do breaking news. Not at this moment. I mean, unfortunately, we're in a state right where you're looking at say something is breaking news. TMZ is reporting it before they allow. It's like TMZ is like the new news, right? If TMZ, I've had people reach out to me and say, if TMZ didn't report it, I don't believe it. But then now it's like we're looking at AI. And when we're looking at AI, it's like it has to be reported for AI to be able to report it. So I don't think that AI is necessarily just there yet, if that makes sense. But I'm just letting you know that, hey, we're looking at media. You're looking at TikTok because somebody might be in that area. And Solo, you know the guy, the hood guy that's at all of the scenes here in Atlanta, and he's reporting on the news, right? And he's
Mhm.
literally right there. And because he's there, we can get it on social before it can get reported to ABC, CBS, or Fox. He's there. And if we tap into him, or if somebody is reporting this to ATL Tonight or TMZ or whoever, they can now all over the world can get that news in real time. So whether it's centrally located in your respective city or on a national news cycle or even a national social media cycle that everybody follows, you can get that breaking news. So that's just my thoughts on it. And any final words before we move on from anybody? No?
No, I think you covered all the bases.
Okay. All right. Hey, I like it. So, I mean, I just want people to understand, like, hey, we're looking at social media as the new way, right? And with that being the case, it's just, hey, we need to be ready. We need to be mindful. It does need to be fact checked. We don't want this information to, someone getting it in the wrong hands and, reporting false news saying that someone has lost a life or something has happened and it really did not happen. So as long as it's fact checked,
But yeah,
I think a lot of people are okay with it.
let me say one thing on that, because now when I'm doing interviews, I use AI for some of my research on the actors or whatever that I'm looking at. And I mean, you have to fact check the AI. It hallucinates. The one actor who was in this Hulu show, I can't remember his name. He wasn't like a lead actor, but it said that he had overcome cancer. And it's like in the AI stuff, it said all the stuff about he's like he overcome cancer, and somehow that slipped somewhere into my question. And when I could recognize that wasn't the case, or that was that was a hallucination, I kind of like swerved out of it to not make it as obvious that I have wrong information. But like you got to double check the AI too. Like you can't you gotta get sources and double check before you just think that what AI is saying is true, because a lot of times um, it doesn't say everything that's true. Matter of fact, I just interviewed the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He has a new show called Pluribus. His name is Vince Gilligan. I interviewed him yesterday, and I asked, because one of the issues that you see with those shows is that Vince doesn't use a lot of black actors. So I asked AI to give me a list of all the black actors in the Vince Gilligan universe, from Better Call Saul to Breaking Bad, and it left out Lavelle Crawford as Hugh. It's not about 5 actors, but just the fact that even AI is like, then I said, what about Lavelle? It's like, oh yeah, So AI, it's like it's a tool, but you gotta be on top of that and not use it as a crutch, because you'll get some wrong information there also. So that's just, I just wanted to add that just from
Now, my question for you is: did you use ChatGPT or did you use Perplexity or Gemini or what platform did you use?
I usually use Anthropic, so
Okay.
Claude.
And this is why I recommend Perplexity, because they fact check. They tell you where they pulled their sources from, whereas these other ones, you're not knowing where the sources are coming from. But if people are not familiar with Perplexity and what some of the key features are of Perplexity, then like he said, he's using a platform and he's trusting in this source to get some of his information. And it's, you don't want to put yourself in a bad situation when you're trying to fact check. As the old saying when we were kids, cite your sources. So yeah. We're gonna move and switch gears just a little bit. Revis, it's your time to shine, as they call it. We're gonna try and make this as briefly as possible. TBJ, I'm trying to find him so we can get you two situated, if that makes sense. If I can find him. And TBJ, where you at, man? Where you at? There you go, TBJ.
Yeah. Solid as a rock. Yeah, we're gonna be solid over here. That was a great topic right there. What y'all think about that in the comments? Well, look, before we go ahead and get into the word of the day, let me tell you what else we're gonna be talking about. AI and musicians? Oh man. Will this be the new trend? AI in radio? AI in film? Oh my god, it's all AI. Are y'all ready for it? But we definitely want to have this conversation with you, okay? So please tell a friend. And if they don't understand AI, we got the right people over here to have the discussion, okay? So without further ado, I got my personal partner, Revis. He gonna do this word of the day called patch. And we gonna break this thing down, all right? So without further ado, ladies, if you in the comments, help me sing this song, y'all. Help me sing the song. Mr. Sexy Man. Don't get jealous. This is my friend's song. Mr. Sexy Man. Play the tape, tall boy.
He's somewhere in the United States, from LA to New York. Where are you, Revis? Don't forget to honk the horn.
Revis, my man, how you doing, player? We got guests in the house.
Hey, yes. Hey, I'm doing pretty well, man. I'm doing pretty well. Sitting over here in Midway, Tennessee. Midway, Tennessee.
Okay, what's so special about Midway, Tennessee, player?
Really nothing. They just a bunch of farmland around here. You got a Walmart DC, and I'm at a new truck stop, and I'm sitting here for the night. And my service and everything is really terrible today.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, look, we're going to jump right into this thing, man, and we're going to go right into it, okay? So, you said that you wanted to do the word patch, and we only have a few more weeks until the end of the year, so we wanted to make sure that we gave you tech terms that you can understand, and we wanted to talk about patch when it comes to computers, okay? Is that cool with you, Reeves?
That is cool.
Okay, so a patch is a piece of software code that can be applied after the program is installed to correct an issue with that program. Now, most programs have several patches after their initial release and usually update the version of the program when installed. Now, the way the sentence reads, when your favorite game is acting up, that new patch is what's going to fix it right, so you can get back to your mission. Or without that patch, your computer might just be stuck on the side of the road with a flat. Revis, break it down, player. Break it down.
I like the word patch because it's it's pretty simple. It's a simple word. It's the really means to update, fix, or improve something or a running program. A program that's running right now. When they try to fix it, this is the way that we say that you fix something that's not broken. That's what a patch is. A patch is something that you put in and it's supposed to improve it or make things a little better. I like the word patch because uh, I could actually use it to try to patch up what the word of the day from last week. Because those iOS users and Apple users was kind of uh, upset with me because they didn't like my definition of iOS last week. So hey, I'm trying to patch it up this week. It's what some people call ninja rigging. Hey, that's what we do. Sometimes we have to ninja rig stuff, and that's what a patch is.
Okay, well, patch. Basically, when you gotta, cover up and make things a little bit better. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you got to improve something, make things a little better. And it's not that it's bad because sometimes it's a running program, like the Lab Tech Show is a running program. And so what I did last week is I gave the definition of iOS, and it was just it happened to be a whole bunch of iOS and Apple users on here. And I guess my comments was pretty negative about Apple. Hey, I'm Team Android, so therefore I got to use a patch to try to improve it and make it seem a little better than it was last week. How about that?
Sounds good. Let's ask the audience, how did Revis do on the word of the day? If you're watching on your phones, let us know. 1, great job, sir. 2, he has to know when to stop. 3, I'm just gonna hate on him because he messed up. Or 4, Revis, this is a great recovery from last week. 1 through 4, let us know in the comments, how did Revis do on the word of the day? Jamal, Cupid, or Solo, how did Revis do? How did he do?
It was a good word.
Or I
I
guess
think
my
his
question never
definition
took off.
or his example a little sketchy, but good word.
Hit the spot 10. Look, hit the spot 1006 says we need a patch right now. uh, let me see. Mama D say too. He has to know when to stop. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Cupid, Jamal, how did Revis do on the word of the day? Did he do a good job, or you like I ain't got no comment?
You did all right.
He said you did all right.
Did I?
Cupid, like, I ain't got no parts of this player. I ain't got no parts. Look, the audience is saying he has to know when to stop, man. All right, Revis, thank you so much for breaking down the word of the day. We do ask you guys to use the word. That's right. Use the word in a sentence. Find a way to break it down. And with your friends, or use it in in your conversation throughout the week. All right, Revis, you gonna hang out with Tallboy, or you gonna ride out?
I'm gonna ride out and see what I can do about this phone. I want to see everything. I can't see nothing. So hey, you guys, I'm gonna be with you, but hey, have a good one. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Bam, and we'll see you all next week.
Well, he need a patch for that phone over there in Midland, Tennessee, y'all. All right, Revis.
Midway.
We'll talk to you a little bit later. All right, player?
All right, y'all. Later.
All right, back to you, tall boy. Back to you.
All right, guys. Well, Reva's doing what he does best, trying to patch things up from last week. And hopefully, you guys will find a way to use the word patch and make it work for yourself. All right. Our next article that we're going to talk about, we're going to get in a little bit into music. And Cupid, this is kind of where you play a role in this. AI generated artist Xania Monet signs a $3 million record deal. This is crazy that we're even having a conversation about something that's not even real, right? And they're getting an opportunity to make some actual money, whoever the creators are. Some people are proponents of this and some people are not. But we're going to discuss it. And basically, this is what it kind of says here. It says, uh-oh, what's that noise right there? Okay, they say there's a lady by the name of Talisha Jones, and basically she's basically ahead of the curve. She's just signed a big time $3 million recording deal for her AI character Xania Monet. She used this AI music tool called Suno to drop a track called Let Go and Let God, and basically it's already hitting the charts. And she basically had a Zoom meeting with some big name people, and she didn't even have to show her face. And basically, she didn't have to sing, she didn't have to show her face. All she did was just play the music. And they said because her lyrics are pure, and she writes them herself, and that's the real deal, and that's drawing people in. That's what she's saying. And they're saying that they're already working on her next project with human producers and even planning a live show. Now, it's crazy how she's making it all happen. She's showing the game that real music, if that's what you want to call it, can be made with new tools and still have a pure vibe. I know this is probably
Yeah,
frustrating the crap out of you, Cupid. Your thoughts on this? Let us know.
I don't like it at all. I feel like as a musician, I made a lot of, strides in the game with Cupid Shuffle. It's definitely a novelty song. So I could imagine, somebody just saying, waking up in the morning saying, "Hey, I need a line dance song that, does this, and that." And they actually blowing up. But like I told you on the phone, man, I think this is kind of like smoke and mirrors, because when you say a $3 million recording deal, that's basically just saying that they're going to spend $3 million on the actual budget to try to make this thing work. It's not a $3 million check to the actual person herself. So I think that's an initial thing that people need to understand on how record deals work. So there's going to be a $3 million budget allocated to this science project, as I look at it. Um, when you start talking about creative, you have to think about the remember Robin Thicke and Marvin Gaye, right? So Robin Thicke did the Blurred Lines record, and Marvin Gaye's estate came right after him. If AI is going to be creating something, it comes from something. It's not out of thin air. And if those derivatives, let's say for instance, this artist particularly decides to make a song and they put all the ingredients in, and it comes out sounding like the Cupid Shuffle, just randomly, just based on the data, based on everything that they put in, I, as an artist, would send my team out to compensate and to sue them because of the likeness of the song sonically. Um, I think this is gonna be difficult, and also if you notice, so many artists are touring right now because of the lack of sales and the lack of revenue we getting from music. So I'm trying to understand how they're gonna go on tour and how they're gonna do live shows. And I know we say a hologram, but I personally, don't think that it's gonna work. I think it's gonna be tough for the lives aspect, and I just think that I don't like it. I think that it's terrible for the industry. We already in a bind getting 0.004 cents per stream, and now this. So totally against it.
Solo, you work in radio. How does this affect you, or does it not affect you? Are you gonna play the music? Is the powers that be say because it's charting, we have to play this? I'm not sure if this is for your format, but even if it is even if it's another artist that may fit your format, how does that look on your side from a radio perspective?
Um, I think it's a slippery slope because I definitely deal with those artists, and like Cupid is absolutely right. There's some aspects of this that is not going to chart well, or not going to be, the business is not going to be all the way done, because like he said, they're not creating something from zero. But with this artist, Timberland is involved, so there is some creation with Timberland. I'm sure they'll take their back channel. For us, I did have a record recently, maybe a couple of months ago, that was AI generated, and
Mm.
the person sent it over just to let us hear it. Didn't even tell us it was AI. It did not fit my format for the time, and it wasn't like a hit. So, but I am seeing people testing it out. I had a couple of interns this morning, just recently, just did a jingle based off AI. So I think it's definitely going to infiltrate radio to certain things, but I don't necessarily know if it has staying power, because a good record has to have staying power, and you can have a good songwriter. Um, but I just don't see the connection with the fans like Cupid. Like Cupid record is a connection with the fans. Good, great song, but it went outside when you go outside and you actually could go outside and actually engage with that record. I don't necessarily believe that these records, these AI generated records, are going to be able to have that connection unless you have it in a virtual space, like Meta World or any of those digital spaces where people can just put on some VR glasses and do that. But I just don't necessarily see it standing.
Okay, Jamal, you're in film, so quite naturally, you see music inside of film. You're interviewing these artists on red carpets. How does that look from your world of TV and film?
I mean, I remember when they did the Michael Jackson hologram and the Tupac hologram at Coachella, and it was like a gimmick thing, and that was cool. But I think Cupid said a lot of stuff that has some weight on it, like these things are being derived from somewhere. They're prompting something to get these songs, and it's a good chance that a good copyright attorney could sit there and hold them accountable for that. At the same time, a lot of when they took a lot of the book publishers, and like I even wrote an AI program to do children's stories, and I used all the Grimm brothers, who's most of the Disney stories, fairy tales, and I use all these Russian fairy tales and German fairy tales to be the backbone for this creator that creates these original stories. And it's sometimes gonna be hard to tell like where it came from. But the fact that still as a fan, for you to be connected to something that's real, it's still something that we're on. I think that's the ultimate challenge. Like, people going crazy to go to the Chris Brown. Like my girl was trying to go to Chris Brown concert and do the meet and greet. Don't I know? It's effed up. We had arguments over this. She want to take pictures with Chris Brown, all that, whatever. But like nobody want to go do that with some AI artist. It's still. I still think that even whether we're talking about this or movie scripts or whatever, I still think that there is some authenticity, some human element that AI is not gonna connect with. That gives everything that song. I mean, I could get Chat GBT to remix the Cupid shuffle, and but it's still like, if I'm performing that, even if I get the lyrics, could I perform it with that heart? Could I perform it with the fact that the work that he did in the studio, like it's something that's internal in Cupid making that song that's gonna make it different, and I can't even replicate that no matter what AI is trying to do with it's something that's special about Cupid that makes that song what it is. And I think that no matter how much these gimmicks, like he said, it's a science project, I don't think it's gonna go nowhere. I mean, I'm not gonna buy that album. I don't think you're gonna see people lined up around the corner like they was for Beyonce to go to some AI concert. Like nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna spend their paycheck on that. I mean, it's a good experiment, but I don't think it's gonna go down. And Marsha Blackburn, who I disagree with on 99% of the stuff that she does, but she's a senator in Tennessee, and she's been very active about introducing legislation because she's, Tennessee, Nashville's Music City, and she got to protect the songwriters, ASCAP, BMI, all these places. She's gonna introduce some legislation to make sure that AI isn't interrupting that thing from the music publisher to the songwriter to the artist, because that flow of money still gotta go if these humans gonna get it. So that's where I stand on it.
Well, and I'm not for and I'm not against, because I've listened to the Xania Monet, and there's gonna be people that's gonna like her, whether someone dropped part of that $3 million, right, to whether somebody dropped that $3 million or not, to the production, to the marketing, or whatever the case may be. Somebody dropped that money, and somehow it's ranking and it's charting 21 or 25 on the Billboard charts, on the digital charts. It's somebody's liking it. I don't think the bots are doing that much to where it's not a human element. Because when I listen to Xania Monet, and I implore anybody to please, go to Spotify and just hear it for yourself. You make your own decision on whether or not you think that this AI artist is good enough to be there. I'm not telling you to download the album. I'm just saying, just listen to one or two of the songs and say, this is for me or it's not. So I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Cupid and I had a conversation. And when we had that conversation, he's not for it. He said, hey, if I hear any word, any type of hook that has something to do with me, my lawyers, my team, they're going to be, pay me out, run me a check. And you can't get mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get mad because you sampled his work without that clearance. And that's something that at the end of the day, you have to factor in that, hey, if you're not getting I hope I'm saying this right, if you're not getting the proper documentation in place, then yeah, this is probably going to be a bad road for you. So I don't know. This is just that conversation, and this is why we're having it. Anything else that y'all want to add to this?
I got a question for Cupid. If, say, for instance, somebody does improperly sample his record, are you doing it to get paid, or are you doing it to stop the process?
I'm doing it more so to get people to see how to stop it. It would be more to be like, hey guys, I did it. More y'all like start doing this to try to fight against that. Because and look, and I'm gonna be real quick, tall boy. Like the $3 million sounds cool, but I gotta stress to you, it's not a check. It's a bank loan. And if they don't make money with this is gonna go away. That's how it is with artists that get dropped from the labels and everything else. So to chart on Billboard isn't about a human factor. It's about a business factor. It's about how the labels can position it. It's not because people are calling the radio station going crazy. I can tell you that now. That it's all business. So when that 3 million radio budget, if they don't make 6 million, I guarantee you it's gonna go away. Just like those artists that you see get dropped every single quarter.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, like I said, this is why we're here. We're having this conversation. Some are going to be for, some are going to be against. So I think at the end of the day, this is why we have the conversation. Ray Wright says Tilly Norwood is an AI actress that makes movies as well. And we'll briefly touch on her, but we're going to talk about film because this is Jamal's space, right? But before we do all of that, let me see, what do we have on tap here? We got, where is it at? We got the brand, y'all. Hey guys, don't forget to support the show. It's the Lab Tech Show, your live production, and tallboy.us. You see we got the tech content. If you know a guest that should be on this show, reach out to us. Your live production, you see how we're moving this stream. If you like what you see and you would like to have something like this done for you, your live production is the place to go. And if you need content creation, let's have that conversation at tallboy.us. Don't forget, we're on Spotify and on YouTube Music at The Lab Tech Show. Don't forget, we're also on TBE Media we're on Roku and Amazon Fire at TBE Media. And don't forget that you can support the show financially through PayPal or through Cash App. Don't forget to always think big. Think tall, think tall boy. Why? Think big, believe in God. Think tall, the sky's the limit. And think tall boy because he said so and he's doing it. Now, because we're having this AI conversation, some of you guys have seen it, some of you guys haven't. But we're gonna show this AI commercial that Tall Boy's got. Let's see what we got here.
Alexa, play my favorite R&B song. I learned what to buy so I can get my groove on.
The Lab Tech Show showed me how I can easily remember to take my meds. Well, look, I got my nudge.
Revis told me to expand my vocabulary. Do you see this bumptious driver?
I embraced it, and it saved me the walk to my gate. Tall boy drops gems.
I see you, Granddad, keeping up.
I'm not trying to get left behind.
It's time to cancel this subscription and make the switch to AI.
Better use of our money. The Lab Tech Show breaks down the latest tech, makes it simple, and keeps it real for the culture, for everybody. Wednesdays at 8.
All right, guys, we're going to go right into this next topic right here, AI and radio. This is kind of where Solo kind of specializes in, and I definitely wanted to make sure that we covered all aspects
with where Colin Simmons is at, or where Colton Vosick is at, or Brad Spence is at. It's a very versatile room that way, end quote.
Okay,
so Sark was with me, and when we were in Atlanta for SEC Media Day, Steve.
There we go. AI voices entering radio stations, but some say human touch is still vital. They're saying that there's a new thing popping off. There's a guy that's based out of Tennessee by the radio personality named Jack Ryan, who's been in the game for about 14 years. And basically, he's saying the game is shifting. He's heard AI voices on the commercials, and it's getting real. And his station is keeping it real and trying to stay local. They're trying to avoid the whole AI scene. And Ryan is saying that radio personalities got to get it together because they're now competing with robots, not just humans. So they said they did a study and they said radio DJs and announcers might not be safe from AI. The morning personalities and the midday shift may be, but the people that are doing overnights, that might be an issue for you. And also the temp people. So now, is this a matter of them saving money, or is this a matter of just saying, hey, we're just going to eliminate humans altogether? He said that AI can adjust a voice's pitch and accent, and bigger markets are already messing with it because it sounds human and it is cheaper. Solo, talk to me, man. Are you seeing this on your side of your, with your station? Have you had these conversations? How does that look for you guys?
I'm just getting my thought. Okay, so I did read the article. I'm very familiar with the radio station that's trying it out. Radio, there's a lot of voice tracking. So I have to tell you the whole gambit. So all radio stations across the country are cutting back, and they're doing voice tracking where somebody might be voice tracking for multiple markets based off of budget cuts and things. And so this gives you some it avoids some burnout. So I know like overnights and those shifts that say like late weekends or early morning probably are going to use them where you can test them out where they're not out touching people. They're kind of doing basic breaks. I don't see that happening during prime time from 6 a.m. to 7 to 10 p.m. what we consider prime time. I don't see people using it because you still have to have interactions. Now, I have seen it done where I was impressed, as I was recently at a radio conference in August.
Receptions.
And
Texas had 3. They could have had 4 or 5 with
Go
the
ahead.
way
I
that
don't
they
know
were
why this
making
is
life
doing that. Go ahead.
miserable.
Keep going.
Okay, got it. Where I saw somebody creatively put it together, but there's somebody still there taking the calls. You got the pitch and all of those things, but the interaction of knowing what's going on, all of that still has to be programmed in. So it's all about the writing. So I do see it coming in certain markets where people are trying to cut budgets, but those markets probably don't do anything in the community or localized anyway. So they'll be fine. But these radio, like top 10 markets, I even go top 50 markets, probably are not doing that. The people that's 50 and younger, 50, like say market 51 and going further down, they'll try it because they have nothing to lose. But that's not happening in Atlanta, Houston, Chicago, Dallas, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Houston, LA. That's not happening. Phoenix, that's not New York. That's not happening there because you have to be out. Part of you being out local and touching people and reacting to what's happening right then that's the localization. So that's where I see it. Unless AI all of a sudden starts thinking for itself, which you still need somebody to program it. But I have had the conversation and I have been testing out some software where I did that. They tested it out to see, but the interaction, the taking a call, the somebody has to be there to still play it. So if you got somebody that still needs to cue that in, you might as well just have somebody on air. My take.
Well, let me ask you this question here. I mean, you have a board op to do that, right? So, I mean, the board op is sitting
Yes.
here. The board op is sitting here saying, "Hey, I can." I'm not saying the board op can't do it, but I mean, they're just setting everything up.
They're setting everything up, but why not have the board op just do the call? It's the same. It's the same thing. You're spending the same amount of money.
I agree with you. I don't think that what you're saying is wrong, but like you said, market 51 on down, they have nothing to lose. Now, whether you're in an urban market, urban AC market, whether you're in a predominantly white market, even San Francisco, I don't think San Francisco or Chicago would take a chance on that. But I think that over the course of right now, because this is so new, I don't think anybody is willing to take a chance. But 5 years down the road, I think we'll be revisiting this conversation. And because stations are trying to save money, and you're asking a talent to cut a break, and they don't want to cut the break or cut the commercial. Well, what about that personality? They can say, I already have a sample of your voice, and I already know your pitch, I know your tone, and there's the commercial. Even if you're not, so you're just reading liners, that AI can do it because the talent doesn't even want to do it. And I've seen talent say, "Hey, please read these liners." They don't do it, and now the production director is now getting frustrated because of the fact that they don't have an
Well,
opportunity
these people are
to
SAG
get work
after
done.
them, right?
Repeat that again, Jamal.
But these people aren't SAG after them. I mean that
Well, those are
if they're
radio
in that SAG
personalities.
after,
They're not unionized. Radio personalities are not unionized.
I thought after does protect some of the sound and radio people. I thought that was the after part of SAG.
No,
Maybe in Atlanta.
I know not in Atlanta. They're not unionized in Atlanta. And you hit two parts, tall boy. You hit a commercial versus on air, which is two different things. Commercial, I can see happening because I have AI currently, or with somebody just to be able to do a commercial, but that's not an interaction with the fans. That's just a voice in a script. Something that where you have to do 5 to 6 breaks an hour. I don't see that being as consistent or relevant between prime time in any market from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Anything after that, I think they can try it and try it, and it might work because most people don't care after 10 p.m. anyway.
Well, what about the weekends? You can
weekends. You probably like my weekend show after 9 o'clock. You might not worry about it. So you still, but then the prime time days, you're not, because you got too much call habits of ticket giveaways, music pre-sales, all of that. You're not doing that overnight.
Okay. Cupid, your thoughts on this?
I think that he's 100% correct, and also I know that all radio stations, and correct me if I'm wrong, but ratings is very important because ratings kind of helps out a lot of the different if I'm not mistaken, um so I don't think that you can have an AI generated, bulk of the employees be AI generated and then compete in the ratings in your programming because of the lack of connectivity. Like he said, people going out in the community, people listening to these people because they see them in the clubs and see them at different functions. So you may be able to save money, but I also think you're going to take a nosedive in your ratings. And I think that could affect your bottom line too.
Well,
and so you're trying to save money. And then you end up losing money, as Cupid just eloquently said.
Right.
Put like yo, if okay, cool, we saved the bottom line. We saved 100,000 this year, but you lost 3 major clients. That was 250. So you down at 150. Now there's a station in Seattle, there's one in San Diego, and I know about the one in Tennessee that are trying it, but they're not trying it during their main slots. Like somebody did a generic morning show and it got voted out. Like the person was like, yeah, we're not doing that for our morning show and everything. But like it goes back to you still need some human touch.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's ask the audience. What do you think of AI in radio and in radio commercials? 1, an ad is an ad. I don't want to hear it. 2, the commercials have to be good to get on the radio. 3, I may have some ideas for the holiday season. 4, it's about money. Then the stations are good. If it's about money, then the stations are good. Or 5, stations should have ethics. 1 through 5, let me know in the comments. What do you think of AI in radio and also in commercials?
Hey, Top Boy, as a programmer, I hope a lot of y'all stations do AI. I will run circles around y'all.
So
keep going.
So in all fairness, right? This is the worst that we're gonna ever see with AI. Where we are today. It's not to say that it's gonna only get better. So right now we're having this conversation in 2025, right? And that's perfectly fine that people feel the way they feel, but this thing is coming at us head first. And there's no regulation. And with the current administration, with the current FCC that we have that's out here, there's no regulation. And because there's no regulation, as opposed to what you see in Denmark, what you see in Switzerland, what you're seeing over in New Zealand, they're putting regulations in place and saying, no, you can't do this. We were talking about Sora earlier today where there's watermarks, right? That's not happening in the United States. So people are going to continue to push the limits. And the current administration, whether you like them or you don't, they said we want to be a AI first a nation. That's what they want. So somebody's going to be affected because this AI has no regulation, has very little ethics, and it's basically coming to steamroll and it's picking up speed day by day. I can't even keep up with the damn AI. I mean, it's like every week it's something new that's coming out, and I don't want to take anything away from anybody. So please chime in. Let me know your thoughts on this, Solo, Jamal, Cupid. Let me know. Go ahead.
I mean, like you said, they took regulations away, but they also taking money out of education, out of science and research. They putting money into purchasing Intel, which the chip is some part of what they're already using in China for some of this stuff. So I'm just saying, like, I don't think that we're going to lead the way from the way we're going as a society and in AI as it is. And I don't think like cutting the regulations. I mean, you think that, all right, 2 seasons from now, the Falcons let's get an AI coach, call the plays. Like it's like somewhere in there, AI has a limit. I don't care how much it's the worst of AI. It's going to be a point where you're gonna need that human interaction to inspire, to talk down, to be at the bedside of somebody that's about to pass away. It's gonna be parts where that human, the soul of humans is needed to push stuff forward. And I think that's, we were talking about the Cupid and the AI music. I think it goes for that. It goes for literature. It's gonna go for movies. And I think AI is a great assistant, but I don't think it's going to ever get past being the intern or the assistant. I think it's always going to be that spot, in my opinion. As good as it's going to get, you're going to have a great-ass intern.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be the man or the woman, you know what I'm saying, that's leading that charge. It's going to just be the person that knows how to utilize their assistant to the best, but it's never going to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys or anything like that. It's not going to happen. Or the Falcons or whatever.
But it's still calling plays for you, right? They're using algorithms, right? Just this year, they're using.
Hey,
But
They
the
can use
play, but the
algorithms,
play, but the play,
they might need that
the
help.
play still come from a human. Yeah, it always comes from a human perspective. No matter how you cut the mustard, it comes from a human perspective. And if you can prove that the original content comes from you, then that's where the issue is. Like, we're talking about data, but where does the data come from? It comes from something, and that thing is what ultimately controls the AI.
We got a couple questions here. Hit the spot 1006 is trying to be funny. She said, "Let the dog speak because he has something to say in the background." Nikki, Nikki Hammer says, "What's the conversation rate?" I'm not sure. Shout out to Nikki Hammer over at Chatter. Definitely thank you for supporting us over there. So Tall Boy, what if you are affected? So, I mean, what do you mean if I'm affected? I'm a proponent of AI. Now, do I think it needs ethics? Yes. Do I think it needs regulation? Yes. But at the same token, I'm trying to be one of the ones to be ahead of this thing. And I just mentioned, I can barely keep up. As soon as I learn something new, you hit me with this thing called Sora. And then now you got this thing called Higgsfield. Then you got this thing called Runway. And then all of a sudden you got something else that's coming out, VO3, the new one that just dropped today. I haven't even looked at it yet. Somebody just said, "What do you think of this?" And I'm like, today is Wednesday. I'll figure it out tomorrow. So I'm not even there yet, right? So commercials should speak direct commercials should speak to direct consumers. I think she's talking about the commercials in radio. So yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of where we are. If it affects me, all I can do is say, how can I learn? I have to be willing to embrace it. Are you guys embracing the AI? That's a great question. Jamal, I know you got an advanced degree in AI. Can you share a little bit about that and how that works for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely embrace it. I definitely use it as an assistant, and I'm continuing to build different chatbots and just like whole LLMs that are very niche. And I think in the last conversation, I said one of them was a mechanic LLM that was just for stick shifts. Because I mean, some part of the wide ChatGPT, I know everything is great, but when you like, if you're a lawyer in South Carolina, and you need a chatbot, you need something that just knows South Carolina case law. You don't need your shit to hallucinate about what's happening in California and Montana. You need something that's just built, that's just all it knows. It doesn't know anything else but South Carolina case law. You know, and part of what I'm doing is like building like more niche stuff for niche solutions that it draws down on hallucinations, and it's giving you everything you need for a specialty instead of trying to know everything. You know, so yeah, I use it a lot, but I don't use it as a crutch. I always make sure that I'm going back and going over it and doing my own work.
Cupid, what about you? How are you? Are you using it at all? Or are you just like, I'll just use it for very minimal use? What's your thoughts?
I'm very minimal with it. As a creative, with music, I'm very minimal. I play the instruments and try to sing stuff. So, yeah, like he said, like more of an assistant for things that like I may not be able to like find at the top of my head. I can reach out to the Chat GPT, but that's really it.
I got you. Okay, Solo, your thoughts?
I use it as a tool, and it's your fault because you the one introduced me to a lot of these things via AI. So the better I get at it, is because you took me down the rabbit hole, Mr. Tall Boy and the Lab Tech Show. And but I do use it to as a tool. maybe to polish something that I'm already thinking about, or just to give me like a note or some notes so that I can expound on it. Hey, give me some ideas about this, and then I'll take those ideas and then fill it with my ingenuity and creativity. But I might use it to get a start. I deal with so many different people in so many different markets with the radio station, and plus I syndicate a morning show, so I'm constantly just thriving on information. So I do use it to an extent to help maybe create a better structure, platform. Like I did a budget analysis, and I said, hey, what's the best synopsis for a budget if I have this, and this, and it gave me some notes and a frame to kind of paint the picture. So that's kind of where I'm at with using it. But I'm steadily, I put an hour in. I try my best to put an hour to 2 hours in, a day, just reading and studying it to see where it can be used. But most of my stuff is human touch. We have to touch people. Like we just had the NBA YoungBoy down. Like I can't do that through AI. I have to be there and see. I'm gonna go back as soon as we finish this, but I have to be there for that. And those are the things that AI cannot do.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of that, we got one more topic that we're going to discuss this evening, and this is kind of where Jamal falls into play. AI in film. So AI in film, they have a new movie, an AI directed movie called The Sweet Idleness. They released a trailer, even though they're looking for this new actress, this new AI actress by the name of Tilly Norwood. Had a little controversy. It was so much controversy that it hit Good Morning America. It hit all the major stations talking about this within the last 2 weeks. But now there's this new movie out called The Sweet Idleness. Is that? I hope I'm saying that right, Jamal. But let me give you a little context behind this for the ones that are not familiar. There's a producer called Andrea Valino, and basically they're saying that this is a whole new wave, and they're just launching an AI label. And basically they said that they're dropping a film called The Sweet Idleness, and it's got a virtual director named Feeling AI, or Felin, Fellin AI. And they said the movie is about a future where machines do all the work and folks just chill out. And they're basically saying that this is his new gig, Human on the Loop. Basically, the one supervision, the AI, and they got a whole team of people doing digital actors created from real people. And they're saying that it's not about replacing traditional cinema, but it's just a different way to cook up new content. Jamal, this is your space. Are you interviewing the people that prompted the characters in the movies when you're on the red carpet for the Emmys, or for your award shows, or are you just saying, hey, I'm not even interested in this at all?
I'm not interested in no disrespect, because I know a lot of people in our community are on Tubi or whatever, but I don't even do Tubi movies, so I'm not about to do AI actors. I mean, think about it, just as a producer, you want Angela Bassett saying those lines, or Viola Davis, or Tilly Norwood. Like, it's nothing you could tell me that's gonna make me say, if I got something, I want my movie to get the emotion out of my audience, that I want this AI. I'd rather Kerry Washington do her little mouth thing or whatever she does. It's not going to be Tilly Norwood. It's nothing that Tilly could do to compete with Denzel. There's nothing that the AI writer could do to compete with Quentin or Barry Jenkins or whoever else. Nobody's gonna say motherfucker like Samuel Jackson, AI or not. It's just like this. Those real things are still gonna be what they are. I mean, you could definitely, I think, somebody was talking about the budget. Like you could use stuff for line budgets to kind of like maybe do outlines or to help create your sides for actors. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a true human artist in there writing those lines, a true human artist performing it, it's gonna be shallow. It might have the biggest impact on animation at the end of the day. But when we're talking about live action, I think it's gonna be it's gonna come up short. And being somebody that's been at Pixar a number of times and been at Disney Animation Studios a number of times, even those movies that have hundreds of people working at a time, thousands of people working on these projects for years, it's so much that goes into making a Toy Story that even though AI could go in there and do some of the process work or whatever, I can't see those hundreds of thousands of people that's there making it work be overcome by AI. I think something that they're putting into it is that special sauce. It's like you go into a white Thanksgiving or black Thanksgiving and eating the food. You know what I'm saying? It's and no disrespect, not to be racist as well, but you know what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's some flavor of something that gonna be there that you're not gonna get over there. You know what I'm saying? You could make something. Yeah, you can make it. That's a great science project. Is while I was in school, somebody did a short. I forget the title of it, but we screened the whole short that they did, all of AI actors and everything else. But it's not going to work. And Gavin is over in California, protecting writing legislation, just like Blackburn is in Nashville doing legislation for the music industry. Gavin is putting in stuff for deepfakes, and that whole writer's strike, SAG-AFTRA strike, was to prevent stuff like AI from taking actors' voices and just being able to own Samuel Jackson or Leonardo DiCaprio because you had them in the movie and keep on using them with AI. I mean, that whole strike was about a lot of that. So I don't think it's going to happen to the extent that people are imagining or just trying to make news stories out of.
Cupid, what about you, man? You heard what Jamal had to say. Your thoughts on, are you willing to watch an AI movie or maybe even putting music in an AI movie? If they asked you, hey, we have this AI movie, we want to put your song in our movie, are you for this, or you say, nah, I'm a pass?
I mean, I don't want to feed into the movement. It's just I know I love it for it to be an assistant, and I love for it. But as far as like the actors and actresses for like a specific movie, he hit the nail on the head when he said, I want to see Jamie Foxx, I want to see Denzel, and I'm gonna know that it's AI generated, so it's not even gonna connect to me because I'm really in my mind just imagining that these are just like soulless characters that's kind of like just I'm better off watching a cartoon than that, to be honest. But because I direct people like speaking the parts, like Little Mermaid, stuff like that, and I can even connect the voices with who the cartoons are. But like just data to data, I wouldn't be interested in it.
Okay. All right. Well, what about you, Solo? Your thoughts on it now that you've heard from Jamal's perspective?
I agree with Jamal, and follow up with what Cupid's saying. What Cupid said as well, that there's a human touch that you need. I think there'll be a space for it, a genre for it. I just don't necessarily, is it going to be the number one? Is it going to be up for an Oscar or so of that nature? I don't necessarily believe or know that that's going to happen, unless great writers and producers like Jamal kind of get involved with it And I just don't see that happening right now because, you know, it will take jobs when certain people get behind it. I think the community is at a disservice. You know, the community is divisive on it. I know some people like it, some people don't. But I don't necessarily think I'm finna see an AI person where I'm like, yo, man, did you see that thing? You know, you have the cartoons, you have the animation, but it's still a human element that's writing behind it. So I'm 60-40 on it, meaning 60-40 nah, and then 40% because of the animation and the great character reads and writes that you know, quality people like a Jamal and even a Cupid who writes great songs. If somebody gets involved with those things and really takes it a helm, I'll be interested to see where we are in 5 years, as you stated earlier. Because, like, even with music, Timberland's involved. We know he's a great producer. Will I Am is involved. Pharrell is getting involved. So you have people that are getting involved. You know, I just don't know where it's going to take it. You know, but I don't see the soul in it. Like, I can't see somebody belching out a riff. Like,
Okay.
Gotcha. Let's see. Edward Lynn
That
says,
being
"What's
said, well, you had a great commercial. I mean, and what you could accomplish in production value with that AI commercial, that's amazing. The jobs that it could have been for like actors or stuff like that is a little like sad, but the fact that somebody that might be working with what they're working with and how we've been kind of cut out of some of these budgets and green lights, it's an amazing commercial you did. I want to applaud you on it. It looked great. I liked it. I'm just saying where I'm at on like it's not. It might get a telly, but it's not gonna get an Oscar. You're not gonna have Viola. It's not gonna make me cry. That's what. That's where it's. Where it's at. All right.
so for the last 90 days, I have been shifting all of my, and you guys know I do video production. You guys know that. I've shifted my business model over to AI commercials. Like I said, I'm a proponent of AI. I'm not gonna say I'm 100% all the way over, but I'm probably about 80-20 because you're asking people to create a commercial and they don't have the budget. So when you're looking, I have identified my ideal client. I'm not. I know that the people who probably need commercials don't have the budget for a commercial. So I'm now giving you an opportunity to, have something to be able to market to your customers. I'm not trying to step on anybody's shoes. You weren't even trying to reach out to these people anyway. Edward Lynn says, "What's the conversion rate for direct consumers in 2025?" Does anybody want to chime in on that? Anybody?
when he says direct conversion rate, is he thinking for radio, for TV, or for social media?
In your
Because all
respective
of them.
field. You're in radio, Cupid's in music, Jamal's in TV and film. You can say that amongst your respective field.
I'm thinking right now it's probably bad because radio you're probably doing shucks. It's probably the conversion rate right now is probably $1 to 0.5. Be honest with you, conversion rate right now you're gonna probably spend $10 to make that $1 right now because everybody's getting information from other places. So if you're not spending any money, you're probably not going to get the conversion rate that you want. Social media clicks, likes, that advertisement is probably 5 to 1, depending on what you're doing. But I know radio because you're just fighting with so many media outlets.
Jamal, your thoughts?
I mean, in the media field, I mean, I won't give any numbers, but I'll. I mean, when you look at all these news aggregators, a good 40% of their articles say generated with the help of AI. And the terrible thing about those articles is like it's like they're not even hiring an editor because you'll see an article that'll repeat the same paragraph twice in the article. They'll be like Axios or some major outlets are now because they've cut their staff using AI to write these articles, and it's once you've seen enough AI, I could identify, like my head could identify AI writing, whether email or article, or whatever. I could see like formats, just like, okay, that's AI. But the fact that we have AI doing that, I feel like it's way too intrusive. So I don't want to put a number on the conversion, but I'll tell you that it's being used way more than the people that's even saying, admitting they're using it. So like if big companies like Axios will say, oh, okay, yeah, we use AI to help generate this article, and this is like on your Apple News feed or whatever, then there's other people that's not even saying that they're doing it, that's using AI. So I think a lot of the stuff that you're reading in media, I mean, maybe over 60, 70% of the stuff you're reading has a lot of AI into it right now. And it's not, you're just not reading just, a regular journalist writing an article so that's the sad part. But also, media was dying. Nobody buying newspapers or magazines anymore. So these writers were doing OnlyFans anyway. So guess what?
Cupid, your thoughts on this?
In my lane, I mean, the artists are doing a good job of fighting for their authenticity. You got people like Youngboy, Chris Brown, Brandy, Monica, Charlie Wilson, Elder Barge, the Southern Soul movement with the line dancing. That's making it almost imperative to have a direct connectivity. So AI hasn't really infiltrated it like it has media right now because of artists being so diligent about being on the road and connecting with their fans.
Okay. Edward Lynn also says, and please, if you're watching the show, please like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Help me out because we're having a conversation, and I don't want us to have this conversation selfishly amongst us. You know that you have friends that are kind of against this, and this is why I put this panel together to say, hey, they are. I respect them in their respective fields. They have worked hard to get to where they have gotten to, and to know that we can have this conversation with them and you can ask your questions in real time. Share this show with people and let them know, like, hey, this is where the dialogue is. Who's having these conversations? Who else is doing this right now to where you can actually ask questions? So please, if you could hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I would appreciate more followers, but I know that I'm trying to be as authentic as I possibly can be. Edward Lynn says, any area of business, how do you measure it on radio or television and AI? Anybody can take that call right there. There's the question right there on the screen.
Repeat that question.
Any area of business, how do you measure it on radio or television and AI?
For us, it's going to be productivity, budget, and creativity. And just it might be the mundane task that we use it for currently. Like right now, we can program music, not using AI, but using an automation programming system. But they're slowly integrating AI where it will track trends, just the same way your algorithm does on your phone, where certain songs come up based off of you just playing your Pandora or your Apple or your Spotify. It automatically starts realizing behaviors on things that you pay attention to. So, eventually I think radio is going to have AI where you could program, a radio station 24 hours a day, and the AI takes that out. Right now, that's a process that takes me about an hour, to program 24 hours of a radio station every day. So you figure that's 7 days a week. I do multiple radio stations. So that will help in that sense of being able to program something as mundane as, a radio program or TV. We're using it for, scheduling purposes for our TV station that we have. So I see it in that avenue that you could use it in those perspectives. Haven't seen it in the creative spectrum, like creating a video or a show or a record, but scheduling, those type things is very, very what we've been seeing being used for, and what we have used it for in certain circumstances.
Gotcha. Man, I appreciate it. The question that I had, and I know we kind of dove off a little bit, to the people that's watching, what do you think of AI actors and AI in films? One, nothing wrong with it. We have been watching AI already. Two, why are producers even going this route? Three, we should cherish the movies we have. Four, I understand why Hollywood was on strike. Or five, I think there should be regulations. 1 through 5, let me know in the comments. What do you think of AI actors and AI in films? We told you that there was a movie out called what is it? The Sweet. What was the name of that movie again? I'm sorry.
Sweet Idleness.
Yeah, The Sweet Idleness. There's a teaser, there's a trailer that's on YouTube. You can check it out yourself. But to Jamal's point, he's like, I'm not interested in even entertaining this, this type of content. But then there's somebody that is somebody that would be willing to entertain it. And that's the beauty of America, right? You have the freedom of choice. So, I mean, at the end of the day, what are your thoughts? Let us know. I definitely want to say thank you to the people that showed up. I know we were having some technical issues behind the scenes, but you guys are definitely solid. I've been knowing you guys respectfully in your careers. You guys have seen me grow. And I thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of your schedule, to be supportive of what we got going on. I'm not sure where Cupid is. He looks like he came off the screen. Okay, I don't want to do that, but I wonder if he had to go. But yeah, I definitely want to say thank you guys so much for pulling up on me. And as a brief recap, we talked about the United States turns to social media for news, AI musicians with AI music artists, AI in radio, where radio personalities are now possibly threatened, or commercials are now being played on radio, and then now AI in film with actors and full featured films that are about to start releasing in 2026. And then also Revis broke down the word of the day called patch. Jamal, you have any final words before we get up out of here with AI from your perspective?
I mean, I know I've given like the sports and the bedside physician surgeon analogy, but if AI was all that, then people would be winning on these 18 leg parlays that they're doing on Prize Picks. AI will be able to tell you who's going to score 30 points tonight. And it's still a human element of luck and knowing and intuition. And that's all I'm just saying. Like we got to know that there is limitations to this, but we also got to know that, especially for our community, things that we've been logistically cut out of for gatekeeper reasons, financial reasons, whatever, that, I mean, use AI to get that advantage as best you can, but still put your special seasoning on it. Don't think that you're gonna do AI and you're just about to lean back and let it work for you. Don't think you're about to be a slave master to your AI and you ain't doing none of the work and you got AI out in the fields. It ain't like that. It's a collaboration. And if you know how to use it as a collaboration, it can help you overcome some embedded societal hurdles that keeps us out of the C-suite, keeps us out of the boardroom, keeps us out of a lot of spaces, and do it yourself. I mean, when I think about where I'm at today, even with media outlet, I think about that Ted Turner had to send a satellite on a Western Union satellite. He had to spend $30 million to send a transponder into space to launch CNN Whereas today, all you gotta do is go to YouTube or TikTok and sign up with an email and a password, and now you have a broadcast channel, so to speak. So use technology as you can to advance, because it's definitely making stuff more tangible. But I just don't get all the way caught up in the hype of thinking that AI is gonna replace what makes us us. That's my final word.
Solo, your words. Any words you would like to leave us with?
First and foremost, I appreciate the invitation, and I always appreciate you allowing and keeping me involved with technology. We talk, pretty regularly when it comes to stuff. Also, I appreciate everybody that's in the chat that chimes in with the Lab Tech Show. Please make sure y'all share and like, because the more we do, the more the community grows and things. My final word will be it's a tool. Use it to your advantage. And AI is only going to replace the lazy people. The people that are lazy are going to get replaced, and the people that use it to their advantage are going to excel. AI is definitely going to be like social media. It's going to make some people some more money. How far that goes is going to be based off of you. There's a lot of people that make money in social media, and there's a lot of people that don't. And the people that don't are the main ones that are complaining. So with AI, we're all getting it at the same time. You, as Jamal said, you need to use it for an extension of your creativity to, kind of even the playing field to an extent, but don't use it as the Bible. Use it as a guide or some help. Tall Boy's friend James uses it very well for his productivity. And if you can do that, you can definitely grow and make things a lot better. That's the way I look at it. And I always tell everybody, check on your people, find a reason to smile. Solo, follow me back. I follow.
That's what's up. Last question for you guys in the chat. What did you think of tonight's guest for the evening? Let us know in the comments. What did you think of the guest for the evening? You type it in, it pops up on the screen. We have some questions here that I would like to highlight real briefly from Mr. Edward. He said, how do I get on your respective shows if you have any? He's in the death care profession. Have any of you supported a family raising funds for an immediate funeral service? Sounds like a whole ad over here that he's throwing out there, but I ain't mad at him. Regulations around technology are going to happen. It's just about revenue. And Mama D says, all of the guests tonight, thank you, and I appreciate you for your insight. So yeah, that's where we got from this real quick. So I definitely want to thank everybody for supporting, sharing the show, letting everybody know that this is what we were doing. This is where it's at. Every week we try to have informative conversations to where you can walk away learning something, because tech is forever evolving. Tech is still undefeated, if that makes sense. And this is kind of why we have these conversations, if that makes sense. And I definitely want to thank Jamal, Cupid, and Solo for coming on to the show. I know Cupid had to leave. It was, I don't know if we went over his time or not, but thank you guys so much for pulling up on us. Hopefully you guys got some value out of it. And like I said, this is what we do. We are here to serve the community, bring this tech to you, and we have to have these conversations. AI is here, and if we don't have these discussions now, then when will you choose to have them? That's the way I'll leave it at that. So without further ado, thank you guys so much. Solo, Jamal, Cupid, and what they say?
You already know.
Y'all stay on.
Tall boy.
It's another week. Hopefully you guys learned something new and embrace the AI. It's coming whether you like it or not. just trying to end the stream.
You still here? I gotta jump.
I'm just trying to end the stream. Just give me 1 second.